What's going on, guys? This is Kaisha. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So for our video today, we are going to cover OCG, Metagame Report, and Decklist Reviews from the past week with of November 11 to November 18. So a week-long span of tournament data gathering across minor regions in Asia, namely Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and other neighboring countries here in Southeast Asian regions. And the thing with these reports is it is going to be very exciting because as usual, our metagame here in C are very much different from the major regions that we are usually seeing from my previous metagame reports no across the major regions in Japan, South Korea, China, and Taiwan. So without further ado, let's start. Moving on first with the Duel Stepian Samarinda tournament in Indonesia with the champion Eric Sky Striker. So Forbidden Crown definitely boosted the ability of Sky Striker to confidently go first and go second. It is a very pivotal card in order to protect your effects from resolving and also interrupting the opponent going second. So it is like your much more versatile Forbidden Droplet, and Crown definitely has synergy between the Magnificent Storming Quick Play, which is like your 60-75% of your deck are quick plays now. So you definitely get your boost from the Magnificent Storming quick plays. And Sky Striker also has a very strong going first outlet on their side deck with the Dimensional Barrier. They don't have really issues playing the D Barrier because they don't run Synchro, XYZ, Fusion, and Ritual no. And more importantly, you're going to answer the best decks available using the D Barrier. And next we have Ryan. We have Dracotail branded 60 card version here. So you don't really see this type of deck in big regions. You most likely uh, expect that the Dracotail branded would be 40, 43, 45 at maximum. But 60 variant in C regions are ordinary. I think you could see these type of decks in Taiwan. And of course, the 60 grass build would opt for more starters and extenders in the form of the Dracotail and Cartesia. And Faimena does a lot of things now on this deck. Moving forward, I think this is your go-to if the Branded and Dracotail will be severed by the upcoming ban list this coming January or December rather, on the 3rd or 4th week of December. So yeah, this is like your technically better Shaddal 60 variant at this moment, no, because we cannot really tell that because Shaddal will be getting support after the Terminal World 02, which is dropping on Saturday, I believe, this week as well. And next we have DR, Dracotail. This is a pure Dracotail and running the Dissolver, which is another tech that you can run here if you don't really want to play too many hand traps on the deck. No, you could potentially play Dissolver as an pseudo extender or starter as well once you have drawn the Dissolver with Dracotail and other fusion card. I think it's going to be fantastic and we'll be able to bring out Altarion or other stuff like the Gulamel here very early on your field. And next we do have Hardy. Heck Hands, no? Heck Hands, Finsmith Chimera. So I think Heck Hands definitely is not a deck that are seeing representations recently. It was able to top from the first 2-3 weeks of the DBPR or the Deck Build Phantom Revengers, but sadly it wasn't able to adapt towards this metagame. And the only saving grace would be playing Chimera or Finsmith on the deck. So this is like another extender or another engine, layer engine, no, on the Chimera. And next we do have Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Community Tournament. Shoutouts to our friends in Iloilo and Visayas. We do have May OCG ranking. It is a nationwide ranking tournament. And we do have Dracotail Magisus, Heck Hands, another Heck Hands once again. So Heck Hands definitely a deck that is unexplored on major regions, but you are seeing the Heck Hands reps no on Southeast Asian countries, and this is what I like the most on our reports when covering Southeast Asian regions. You always expect something different, something out of the ordinary or the basic or the standard deck building thought process of major regions. And running double Gamma Seal as well on the side deck. I think it's also another outlet to out the Lunalite monsters. And I think Lunalite is still prevalent here in Southeast Asian countries. And we do have Elven Notes from Shin, Alter, our friend in Kaidubili. So he's running Finsmith here. And I think this is your most optimal way of utilizing Elven Notes with Finsmith. So you don't really compromise too much of your main deck slots for your engines and hand traps on the deck. And with Finsmith, of course, you're just going to run the engraver and the female Finsmith, and it's going to be like that, only two cards. And yeah, triple draw as well and triple follows, of course, very strong hand traps on this environment. Next we have Yubel Finsmith. So far we are seeing a lot of Finsmith decks across our report, and this time it is Yubel. So this deck never died. I'm going to tell you a very spicy take. I think Yubel never died. Actually, it is still represented in Southeast Asian countries, and South Korean tournaments as well are uh, utilizing Yubel, Finsmith variants, sometimes Gold Sark, Shining Sark rather, and some Azamina here and there. No, so I think it's still a very decent deck as long as you know what you're doing. Next, we have Duelo Antique, another tournament in Visayas. Shoutouts to our friends in Antique. We do have Horus Phantom Knights Adventure. So, this is your like better version of PK Adventure. If we can remember correctly, this deck was able to dominate the metagame last 2021. It was the early saga of the Brave Token, the former name of Adventure package, and now it is blended with Horus Engine, which grants you easy access towards the zombie vampire, and more importantly, granting you an option to go into the Photon Lord, which protects your board from Nibiru. Of course, Nibiru is just going to be detrimental against this deck. So really good job from Piansay. Next, we do have Duelist Devata tournament in Indonesia. We do have Eka, Kultun. It is running the Super Poly package. I think is also another important card for Kultun to be able to utilize on the deck, because you have a very spacious extra deck. I think you have like 3, 4 flex spots on your extra deck, so you're able to play Super Poly. And some do even play the Almar Duke, no? For the Malice matchup with triple link requirements and other fusion targets like Secretion, Dragon, and other stuff. Next, we have Adit Evil Twin. So, Evil Twin is a deck that is continuously tapping in Southeast Asian countries, and I think is mainly to the fact that the deck was pretty budget, in a sense that it has a tactical try deck, and you're just going to slap some Finsmith and some new hand traps on the deck that is not on the pre-constructed build from the tactical try of the live twin or evil twin. No. Next, we have Malice. First Malice so far in our report. So I think Malice is still very popular here in Southeast Asian countries. I think it's one of the decks that people are already convinced that it is going to be good, and it doesn't really take a genius to determine that, because this deck has been winning a lot of tournaments left and right across OCG, AE, and even TCG regions are still clinging on Malice, still a very respectable deck. Going first, you're able to bring out the nastiest board that you can ever make in this format, and paired with like 15, 18 hand traps on the deck now, which is going to be a really solid combo-ish mid-range type of deck. Next, we have Rika San Avalon. What in Jessica Robinson is this? But yeah, it's not running the usual Ragnarika stuff. It's only running the San Avalon and Rika with some Tyrion, the Regulus, and the Lone Fire Blossom, of course, another starter on this deck. And moving on next, we do have KGS Card Shop in Indonesia, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. We do have Exorcister. So, another deck that was kind of falling off on major regions. It doesn't seem to top too much, in a sense that it was really like a tier A type of deck on their first week of the set of the Karma L. but recently it's not showing up massive results now as it used to be. Next we do have Apaduka weekly tournament in Indonesia. We do have Radiant Storm. So Radiant Storm with new support, I think it was able to steal the spotlight for most of the other potential tiered decks on the set, no? It was able to outperform things like Archmage, for example. But mainly towards the fact that the Fall in the Virtues are just so fantastic in this deck. And of course, this deck is like a spice deck, no? You could potentially quote this deck as spice deck with the Feather Storm and Droplets and MST. You don't really expect those stuff from game 1. Of course, the element of surprise would be in favor of the Radiant Storm. And of course, Super Poly just going to be hurtful against the best decks against Yami, Mitsurugi, and Malice. Next, we do have White Forest Elven Notes. So, a lot of my friends have been asking me for a deck profile of Elven Notes White Forest because not only the deck was promising, I think it was able to tap on every region, Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, even on Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia. It was able to bring results. I think this deck is definitely one to look out for. I think the deck is still not solved in a sense that the deck kind of feels unsolved, that the 40 is still kind of interchangeable. You could potentially mix in different hand traps, different tech cards, different utility cards on the main deck, and play around on the ratios of White Forest and Elven Notes, no? And next we do have Horus. Tenpa, oh my goodness. Horus Tenpai Dragon. What the freak? Yeah, running one Dora Draco. So people are still not giving up on Tenpai Dragon. So going second, Horus are your bait. Probably going to make the... Oh! It has also access towards the Draglubion. The OTK shenanigans of the Galaxy Numeron shenanigans here, and the Tenpai Dragon would just resolve, of course, no? As long as your opponent commits their hand trap on the Horus line, you're very free to use the Sangen Kaimen. Or, yeah, just demolish your opponent using the Pydra. Oh my goodness, this is spicy. Yeah, I really like the thought process on this deck. Next, we do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle City Vietnam tournament in Vietnam. So we have a bunch of deck lists here. We do have branded here, champion of the tournament, running double bell and double flawless on the main deck. Next, we do have Yami. First Yami so far in our report. Yeah, I think Yami is still plenty uh omnipotent or kinda still popular, no? You could potentially see Yami across Southeast Asian regions, but definitely they are not on the same number as it used to be. The variety after the DBPR and of course the recent BPRO, yeah, I think it paved way for a lot of comfort decks for people, and of course rogue decks that are able to top tournaments. Next, we have Vanquishal K9, another interesting deck to highlight in this metagame. This deck used to be the best, no? You could argue with that fact that Vanquishal K9 was the king of the meta at some point. But recently, they have lost the Razen into 1, the Izuna into 2, the Yokul into 1. Of course, it's going to hurt the Vanquishal. And of course, Paradise Smasher was guttered by the ban list. It was banned already. So you don't have those disgusting turn skipping way of winning the game. Next, we have Orcus Shining Sarcophagus. So this deck is really a good parameter where Orcus really stands in this metagame. You could play it with Mitsurugi, with Finsmith, and also you could play it pure, no? To some degree, still viable option. Next, we have Mitsurugi. First Mitsurugi so far in our report. So we do have double extravagance on the main deck, no prosperity. And next we do have Malice, triple bestial on the main deck, Baldrake, Druid's Worm, and Magnamut. And next we do have another X-Sister, double droplet this time, and still running the Armament. A lot of people have already cut the Armament into 0 on the modern X-Sister deck list. But some people still prefer it to play if they are playing like Irene, Sophia, and other EXO names on the main deck. And next we do have Branded here. Double Droll this time. And Nobel. Yeah, Nobel, no Nibiru. And next we do have Mekanko with some Power Tool and Finsmith package here. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Next we do have top 16 Malice with Allure. You don't really see that every day on major regions. I think Allure is not really a card that is mandatory on topping decklist of Malice on my major regions. And next we have Lunalight. One fractal only. No fractal on the side deck. Only running one. Next we have another Yummy. Triple Bell and double Bestial. Oh, running Finsmith as well. No Imperms or Purge. And next we have Malice once again. Triple Droll. And triple Retaliating C on the side deck. Next we have Dracotail. King of the Swamp. Oh my goodness, King of the Swamp in Modern Dracotail. You don't really expect that, no? I think it's long forgotten that King of the Swamp can be played on Dracotail. But it's like your second option, Gartesia, to say the least. And next we have Mitsurugi Finsmith. Running one Nib on the main deck. Oh, still running one Prospe. I think people are kinda divided on running Prospe. Some people likes to trim the Prospe into 0 because they are playing around Droll. They mitigate the chances that they're going to get Droll. And next, we have Ryzel Mitsurugi. Pretty standard decklist of Ryzel Mitsurugi. And moving on next, we do have Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Community National Ranking Tournament. We do have Yami Solfacord from Uriel Ray Dolorfino. So he's been rocking with his deck the past few weeks already, yeah, I think. We have seen some interesting deck profiles so far, but this is a deck that kinda is like mysterious to me. I don't really get the combo lines, but I know it works because it has seen some tops on major regions already. But I'm still yet to face this deck on online tournaments or even in person. Next, we do have Branded Dracotail. Double Trust on the main deck. Next, we do have another Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Community Tournament. Seasonal tournament this time. We do have Elven Notes from John Michael Vicente. So, triple mid-use. Some people play 2 mid-use and some even like to play 1 mid-use on Elven Notes, which is crazy. I think you should always play 3 of the mid-use is like your best starter on the deck. And you don't have really another way to channel it out unless you're playing Terrorize or some weird stuff that can search the vessel, no? And next, we have Dragon Link or Rocket from Anthony, Generic Apelado. So, yeah, this is finally the Dragon Link or Rocket decklist that most of my viewers wants to see. He's been cooking with this decklist now, running some interesting stuff and the new Rocket Trop on the side deck. He's running 2 copies now, 1 on the main deck. And double Dragon Ravine as well. Next we have Batanggapo Duelist Tournament. The Joshua Oriano, K9 Vanquishol as the champion of the tournament. So he's probably the best Vanquishol, K9 Vanquishol player in our country. Cannot really neglect that fact. He's been winning a lot with this deck. And he's a proven player of this deck already, topping top 8 on the recent WCQ event Philippines. And of course, his local tournaments are also top notch, and his online tournaments on Azrock are already posterized on this format na. Next, we have Ronil Aguja. Onomat Ryzel, another Ryzel deck. But yeah, Onomat, this is like your second best option for the Mitsurugi Ryzel. Next, we have Rallion, Yummy, standard. And next, we have Charles Panlilio. DDD, 4th place. Running double droll and 1 falls on the main deck, probably cross out fathers. And double impulse. Next, we do have Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Community Burst Protocol Tournament. We do have Archmage from Shin. So, is the serial Archmage player in Iloilo. He's been winning with this deck a lot. And I really like the fact that he played double Super Poly and Triple Dark Ruler no more. I think Archmage wouldn't be Archmage right now without those two. These two board breakers carries the deck. And next is the Rocket from Anthony. So similar deck lists as earlier, I believe. And moving on next is the May OCG National Weekly Rankings Tournament in Iloilo with the Malice from Shin. Double deck lockdown on the side deck. Next is the Elven Notes White Forest. Similar deck as earlier from John Michael. And third would be Joe Vincent. Another Malice. And another Duelo Antique tournament. The Vonkashol from Voice Dogmatica from Carl Alarcon. So trivia guys, I think you haven't seen my recent X or Twitter topping results, no? I haven't still uploaded the video, but Voice Dogmatica is a legitimate deck right now. And the only difference would be playing the Fallen the Virtues here on the main deck. And I think with Voice Dogmatica, you are more able to go second comfortably. And of course, dumping some really perennial cards using the Nadir and the Fallen the Virtues on the extra deck towards your graveyard, no, is another surplus for the deck. Next is the Viel. The Blue Eyes White Dragon. Oh my days. This is like your most pure Blue Eyes deck that you could see right now. And it's not even playing the Primate, no? It's just playing a bunch of Hunt Traps and Bingo Machine Go with triple Imperm. So yeah, very interesting. It's still opted to play Blue Eyes without Primate. It takes a lot of gut to do that. I admit, it's really crazy to think about that. Next, we have another Duelist Step Samarinda tournament. We have Yogi, Champion, Mitsurugi. Triple Dogwood, Triple Meowls on the side deck. Next, we have Anga, Angapi. We have Elven Notes, Double Diddy Crow, and Double Dogwood. They're playing a bunch of Dogwoods here. And next, we have Erwin for hire, finally. I think this deck is better off with Finsmith or the K9, but I think for hire as a pure is still a potential candidate for one of the best rogue decks right now, with for hire being a deck that likes to interrupt the opponent with micro interruptions using the Link, the Donner, and the Skyfang, no? And I think for hire right now is in a decent spot considering that people doesn't expect you don't have expectations on your back, so you're still able to surprise people from here and there. And the fourth place, another Hecahan's Chimera. Another triple Dogwood, no? What is even going on with Southeast Asian countries? Dogwood. And next, we do have another Duel Step and Samarinda. We do have Champion Karim. Purely. Wow, Purely in Big 2025. Double Sales Ban on the side deck. Next, we do have Branded here. Running Herald of the Abyss on the side deck. Next, we have Rydell Mitsurugi. Another triple Dogwood. And next, we have K9. Triple Sphere Mode, of course. You would see Sphere Mode seeing play on K9. This is like their best board breaker right now. And next, the Order of the Duelist and Albay tournament. The first place, Memento Atlan. Shocking, yeah, very shocking tournament. First place, the Memento Atlan. Next, we have Kenji Mitsurugi. Double Extrav and one Prospe. Next, we have Junpei. We have, what even is this? Madolcho, Orcus, Horus, Finsmith, Meknice. Oh my days. What even is this? Yeah, this is like pile deck. 60 card, I think. Yeah. What in the actual heck is this? Next we have Joshua Orcus Mitsurugi. And next we do have Ian Malcolm, DDD. Triple Tactics Talent, 3 copies on the side deck. And next we do have Giroud, branded, my friend from Kaido Willis. So, oh wow. Is what? It's without the Fallen of White, no? Yeah, without Fallen of White. And triple double Mercurier and triple Fallen of Albas and triple Saronir and triple Shrouded Dragon. Wow, this is insane. So he probably just bought the Fallen Divergence structure deck with 3 copies and played with it. No, yeah, this is crazy. With grass as well. Oh, do we still have more? Oh, we still have more. Drytron from Nico. Only one Diviner on the main deck. And also running the Ancient Fairy Dragon. And we do have Jomar Mitsurugi. Triple Judgment on the side deck. And next we do have Evo Community Tournament in Indonesia. We do have Regenesis, of course. Regenesis is just going to show up no matter what. I tell you guys, every single time on our Southeast Asian reports, we're going to see Regenesis. And the crazy thing about that is Regenesis is a tier 4 deck right now on major regions. You don't expect that because this deck is kinda slow tempo, slow pace type of deck, no? But it gets the job done, no? It is able to play around Maxi Follows and mitigate the draw power from those hand traps is already a massive attribute in this format of OCG. And double Solemn Strike on the main deck, I really vouch for that. I also played with this Solemn Strike using my Regenesis on my online tournaments. Next we have another Tenpai Dragon. Only one follows on the main deck. And next we have Yummy. No Finsmith this time. And we do have DDD. Another DDD. Triple Impulse and 1 Red Reboot. And moving on next, we do have the last report on our edition right now. We do have Evo Community Tournament. We do have Vincent Blue Eyes Primite. Double Tyrant. And next we do have Indro, another Genesis. Triple Judgment on the main deck and triple Dragon's Mind. Next we do have Fajar. Sword Soul, Tenyi, without the Fallen of White and the branded stuff. And next we do have Alif, Spiral Horus. Of course, the ASF lockdown, no? Just going to be disgusting with the Gryphon and ASF lock. And yeah, that sums up our OCG Metagame report and deck list reviews from the past weekend of November 11 to November 18. So if you found this video informative or helpful, please do consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.